Hello RC fans! Racing 393. This is part 4 of my FanRc video and part 3 of the build. So in this video we just pretty much finish off what I've got, do some sort of snagging, some bits and pieces that I got wrong, put it all together. We've got the front wheels on the car now, and in this video we sort of trim the body shell and sort of very fakely, that's not the word I wanted. Faintly cut the wing out. It hasn't been installed. There's no point. And the body shell does need a trim, but it's sort of sitting on the car roughly where it's going to be. And in this video, as I said, finish off what we're doing. Mainly the shocks, of which I did again struggle with until I found instructions. So all good. Just so you know, I'm just waiting now for the rear wheels, the correct size rear wheels to go onto the axles. Axles are 3/16. I think the standard RC10 wheels are like quarter. I could be wrong. I think that's what I've read. But anyway, let's crack on with the video. Welcome to part 3. Fixing my errors. It transpires that these are for the RC10. I think they are 1/4 of an inch, like that hole there. These half shafts are 3/16 at the end. So I've ordered some more pink wheels, but they are disc, so they're not like this unfortunately, but the fronts will be fine, so we can keep the fronts and just transfer these with tyres onto the other rims. So that'll be that. Upon reflection, it's these pivot points that are the wrong way round. So I need to change these. Oh, you can't see that. Those. And amongst a million other things, what's going on with that? Whoa. I'm not that heavy. Fucking hell. What the hell? The seat is just broken. Oh. So now have you ever had anything so ridiculous in all your life? Oh my god. I've never experienced shit like that before. Anyway, let me crack on. I'll swap all this around and I'll show you when I've done it. So I've repaired the seat, cable tie. It's not brilliant, but I just have to sit on it. Don't swear. Now the bits I need to change are the sort of bottom of showing pivot blocks. I don't want to get these mixed up. Like that. Don't know if you can see that properly, but it's towing in. It's sort of this top bit is more in than this bit. It's more noticeable on that side. So yeah, it's raining again. Raining. I've got to try and take these pins out again, and then I've got to put these little blue oh, show the freaking camera, not the screen, you fretting. Those blue spacers. Also, I've got on there a couple of shims, which I didn't have before. There's also this. They must have something to do with the axle as well, so they might. What does that do? That goes on there. So I've also got that spacer. And there's a possibility that spacer might go on there. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Let me sort this out and put it back together. So there it is. I've got two shims either side. Fuck. If I show that picture, if I show this on the screen once more, I'm going to get a pair of pliers and rip the screen off. That fits like this. So there's only movement in the actual UJ, but nothing this end. So two shims and the pin, or that spacer. Good. That goes that side. Right. I will definitely now finish these two bits. Done. We're back to sort of where we should have been. Yeah, much better. You can see there that the stub axles are straight. So I've still got a couple of bearings here, which I've got loads of wheel bearings, but I won't need them. A couple of spacers as well. I'm not quite sure where they would go. Then the shock absorbers, my favourite bit, which it is. No sarcasm. Yeah, I might actually go a little bit of detail on the shock. Or at least one of them, not all four. That'd be a bit pointless. But I'll get myself prepared and sort of go through how I would put the shocks together. Not sure what oil to use yet. I'll have to think about that. So let me get that bit. We'll get the tyre on there. I'll do that off camera, and then I'll get the shocks ready. Bag G. Shocks. Right. Let's get we'll do one, and I'll show you how I do mine. As I'm building these, I'll put the rear. I'm going to put that in the rear, and I'll use that for the front. And see how we go from there. The springs are really soft. So, okay. So back on this, like, I don't know what I'm doing thing. I've got this tool here. I've got an O-ring on there. And you've got to put them in there. Well, at least one O-ring. I don't know, it might even be two. I'm going to try this. I don't know if that'll work. So that goes on. There's absolutely no way I can do that on there. Quickly show you how I do it. There. So I've got this little clip, goes on first. A small nylon spacer, O-ring. Where's that gone? Right, O-ring. Large spacer, nylon. O-ring. Small nylon spacer. I think I'm missing a nylon spacer. And then you just push that in. So you see the end, it's just poking out, and then it clips on. Done. Back shock's on. I've got to put the pinch bolt on there yet. I've got got a feeling I see small ones there, so yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, I'll just do the others. And well, all the shocks are now on. They all feel, they just did a little bit of tightening up. I've got to do the C clips on here, which I'll do in a minute. Someone said that I've got to bend this, so I might have to take the bottom off and bend this bit out more to get that to bolt together, which I can do. Waiting for the wheels, put the front tyre on in a minute. I think that's about it. Just the body shell to fit the wing. Cut those out. I've got to glue them in, but these posts, they're fairly snug. I mean, I was hoping that that would be adjustable, as in, unless I've missed something out. I think there's a washer missing off there, which I do. So there's a few little snags that I'm going to do. Had I realised that it was the World's Edition before, I didn't know that, it would have been a lot easier. A lot easier. There is, I didn't put these in, but I don't know whether they're needed, but in between the bearings here, it's supposed to be that little spacer. Means I've got to take all this off again. At this point, I should say it was a lovely build. I think it was okay if I knew what I was doing. Let me just go over some sort of snaggy parts. Snagging. And then we'll do the body. Well, at least I'm not painting it, but we'll put it on. I have actually got that on there now. Looked at the instructions. Bend it, is what it said. Bend. And that's what I did. Right. I'm going to put the other tyre on, and then I'm going to cut the shell, put the body shell on. Not sure when the rear wheels will be here yet, but we can all hope that will be here sooner rather than later. And that'll be the rolling shell. The C clips are put on. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Well, front tyre's done, so we'll stick this back on. At least it looks kind of like a car. There you go. Definitely actually not pointing in the right direction. A bit of toe in. That's easily adjusted. So we're just waiting for the backs. Bit of a trim. The holes are in there. They need trimming again, but this, I think it's more where the rear shock tower is. It doesn't quite. It needs a bit of trimming round. That's that side. So they might need to come in a bit more, but I haven't done the wing yet. Might have to trim the body shell just over that cowling. I think that's what you've got to do anyway. Like a little half circle. So I'll use a pen to mark what needs adjusting, so that I can trim round it. But yeah, just the rear wheels to go on the wing. Not bad. If only I got the World's instructions before, when I started. Live and learn. In fact, it's got worlds written on the side, isn't it? Yeah. FanRc world on the side of the box. I didn't see it, so I just roughly cut it out. It's not what I want it to be at, but it will sort of go on. I'm going to put big side plates on it as well, but there you go. Front wing at least trimmed, body trimmed, just waiting for the rear wheels, and then yeah, we can start thinking about electronics. There's a shite ton of stuff left over. But I think I'll do a closing. That'll be the end of the video now. I've got to start preparing for my LMP now, which is, as I record this, tomorrow. So, right, we'll end it there. Well, that was that. I'm not sure where to start, because the closing, I suppose, at this point is going to cover everything, rather than this individual video. So, I'm not gonna lie, and I've had lots and lots and lots of comments, and it's really, really appreciative actually. But I did get a lot wrong, and one of the main problems, is I never had. I'm going to keep saying it. The instructions. I never had the correct instructions. It's not until you kind of, I don't know, open your eyes a little bit. The Worlds. It's based on the Worlds RC10 rather than the graphite. It just so happens to have a graphite chassis. So had I have realised that at the beginning, I wouldn't have had half the problems I had. I've seen loads of videos on the build of these now, and people have got them, and how much they're praising them. I'm going to be honest, I'm always a little bit off. What should I say? Is it right field or left field? What's the saying? I don't know. If most people are straight down the line, I'm always just slightly off, because I see things just slightly different. It doesn't mean I'm right. It is an opinion, and we are all entitled to an opinion. Opinions shouldn't offend you. You don't have to agree. So I'll start off. I'd go as far to say as over 50% of the problems I encountered was user error, and it's not because I don't know what I'm doing. It might come across as I don't know what I'm doing, but I couldn't build an RC10 blind. It just isn't familiar enough. Now I've got lots of cars here that you can't see. Lots of Tamiya, Kyosho, Team Associated, HPI, and whatever that one is, Team Magic. For the most part, I've rebuilt these, and the Tamiya ones I had instructions like you would in a normal kit. But the others, I kind of just took apart cars and put them back together. Mainly the nitros, to be honest. But I will say, I know what I've got. You know, if I had a nitro car, for example, RC10 GT, I knew that's what it was. So, download the PDF. Easy. No reason to worry. Well, I'm saying this, I've got a screenshot of something else here of another RC10, but I did it wrong from stage 1, day 1, event 1. So that was my main problem. And why didn't I realise it was a World's Edition copy? I don't know. At the time, if it was written down, I misread it. So hands up to me there. I made that crucial error of not identifying what I had. Even though it's not an RC10 Worlds, it isn't, but it's built like one. And some comments that were interesting comments in previous videos, I can understand that a lot of the comments were made by individuals who are RC10. That was his words, nerds, and I fully understand that. And so that was the main issue. So that aside, and my sort of mistakes because I wasn't building it correctly and things I was forgetting. If I had instructions, I wouldn't have had a problem, because I did find instructions, and when I'm building the shocks in this video, I'm not going to lie to you, I made loads of mistakes because I didn't have instructions at the beginning. And then I was thinking to myself, this doesn't seem right, so I went hunting for it. You can't make things up, I feel. So, yeah, my fault, hands up, I'm a dick. Right, now, so on to what I think of the car. Everybody that I've watched has had an opinion of how excellent this kit is. And I'm not going to deny, I kind of agree. And they've had no problems with FanRc. And neither have I. Why would I? All I've done is bought the kit. It's a different type of build. It's supposed to be a racing buggy. That's, at the end of the day, that's what any RC10 was designed for. It's not designed for the shelf. It's not designed for the hobbyist. Oh, that's a comp. Is it? These are sort of words that get thrown around. So, a hobbyist, are they someone that races? We're going a bit off tangent now. Are they someone that races? An enthusiast who collects cars, but doesn't race. A racer buys things for racing. So what I feel that this car, any RC10, from the beginning up to sort of, or even, and especially the latest ones, they're all designed with one thing in mind, and that's racing. And I suppose, looking at my collection, especially here, I'll be honest, apart from the MP6, nothing I've got is designed for racing. I don't even think... Yeah, I have got some racing buggies. I've got all those... I've got loads, haven't I? So, especially the Kyosho Optimas. I mean, they are designed, and the sole reason that they are there and re-released is for the vintage scene. So this is perhaps why I'm split. I think if I race this buggy, I'd have I will have a different opinion, and I'm planning on racing. But like most things, when you buy, this probably comes from the Tamiya fanboy thing. When you buy a Tamiya, everything's included. Mostly. Not always, but it's there, isn't it? Usually it's got a motor in there, it's got the wheels and tyres, it's got the body shell, which has stickers, instructions, oils, greases, everything you need to build that car, apart from the electrics for the most part, isn't it? Then you buy the electrics and put them in. When you buy a race, now I'm sort of going off tangent again here. I've got a Yokomo YR, one of those touring cars, and it is just the chassis. I'm aware of that. At least it's got instructions, but you don't get body shell with it, tyres, wheels. It just comes as a fiberglass, carbon fibre chassis and shocks and all the bits you need for the chassis. You can't race it like that. There's a lot more to spend on something like that to get it onto the track. I think this is perhaps where your mind should be when you're building these things. This FanRc, particularly the FanRc, because it's modernised, in my opinion, should not be a shelf queen. You can define shelf queen with many different variants, can't you? Why would you buy a racing buggy and then keep it in the box, not build it? There's people out there that do that. But a racing buggy its sole purpose is to race, isn't it? That's why it's primitive. There's not a lot in it. It's just enough there, and it's a racing buggy. It has things, and it all works. Supposedly, it all works. So the FanRc is classified as a racing buggy. It's a vintage copy in a more modern world. And kind of where I'm heading with this is this buggy that I've just built worth £349 UK. This is my sticking point through the whole thing. The only thing that's worth the money is the chassis and possibly those shocks. I say possibly. They do feel good. Now I've built them. And you can put all the electrics in that you want for racing, whatever you're going to do. But it's a very simplistic kit. Also got carbon fibre shock towers and other bits and pieces, so that's going to bump the money up. But it's not a lot to it. I mean, there are upgrades you can get, which for racing, you know, any upgrade you get for this car is purely for racing. You don't get it so it looks nice. There's bound to be people out there that might build it for a shelf queen. And that, I mean, you know, we're all entitled to do what we like with it, aren't we, in the day? Who am I to say don't do that? In fact, another controversial thing, shelf queens. I've got many cars here that I might not have used yet, but they're not built just to look nice. They will get used. All I do is I don't trash my cars. Perhaps when I was younger, I would use it every day because that's what I did. As you get older, and at my grand old age, I have got time to go out there, but it's the case of not wanting to destroy things because you've put good, you know, hard-working money into every car that I've bought, which is why, you know, I only just got into the racing scene with the LMP12, and I'm a bit out of my depth there, but I'm learning, and that is a racing car, isn't it? The LMP sort of scene, they're racing cars, but in miniature. So, yeah. So, I think this to conclude. I mean, do you agree? Is the car worth £350? Maybe. I'm on the fence. I think £350 might be a little bit too much for an incomplete experience. You have to go and source stuff like more. But then again, a modern buggy, the RC10, the modern stuff, they're more than that, about £600, aren't they? But they look more expensive. I've seen builds on them and sort of people racing them, and I've seen them in the flesh. They look expensive. This doesn't. That was my thing. It looks nice. It looks retro. I like it. I prefer this than the cab forward design. But yeah, maybe 350 is a bit rich. I don't know what it is in the other countries with the conversion rate, but for us, $349.99. Yeah. Once you buy the wheels and tyres, the electrics, I mean, the electrics are going to be more than that, aren't they? They could do. They don't have to be, but if you get proper race stuff is what you're going to do with it, it's quite possible to be up there somewhere. Wheels and tyres perhaps not that expensive. The motor, because the motor with all electrics, depends what you go, isn't it? It's a minefield. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I made a lot of cock-ups. My mistake. Had I done the right thing to start with, it would have been a more pleasurable experience. I'm still unsure whether it's worth £350. But anyway, that's part 4, but part 3 build. There's plenty online about that car now. Probably saturated. The next part of this series will be when I put perhaps the electrics in. I'm not really sure whether I'll show you the rear wheels going on. Depends when I edit this video and depends when they turn up. But yeah, Let me know your thoughts. Thank you every single one of you who made a comment on the videos. I read them all, responded to I think all of them in some form. Some I typed stuff out, some I just liked, and I really appreciate. There's a lot of knowledge out there. That's the good thing about YouTube. As in, there's a lot of negative with YouTube, but yeah, for me, I sort of learnt a lot, and I appreciate every single comment that everyone made. It is appreciated. So, with that in mind, I've been rambling on now for nearly 15 or 14 and a half minutes or so. Thank you very much for watching this series. If you like what I do, then maybe consider subscribing to the channel. There's always a little button on my videos, and hitting that notification bell so that you get notified when videos like this get uploaded. Other than that, enjoy your day, and thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.